So this week's recipe is a raspberry and ricotta tiramisu, a lovely summery take on the Italian classic. And we're going to start off by making the raspberry compote. This is super simple. Feel free to have a sneaky raspberry on its own because let's face it, they're delicious as is as well. But all you've got to do is combine in a bowl the sugar, lemon juice and raspberries, and then just mash them up with a fork until they're all mashed up and pureed. You'll see that the sugar draws out the moisture from the raspberries, so you get a nice syrupy consistency, and this is also delicious to have in the fridge on top of yogurts and overnight oats for breakfast, etc. But I'm going to put that to the side while we make the tiramisu filling. So this bit is relatively simple. It just takes a lot of whisking, and the hardest bits are really the eggs. So we're going to start by separating 6 eggs, the yolks from the whites. And I like to use a third bowl to do this, to make sure that you're doing the eggs one by one. And this way, if one of the yolks cracks, you're only spoiling 1 egg whites, not your entire batch. With the egg yolks, you're going to mix in the sugar and then whisk it until they whiten and double in size. You'll know they're done when you can feel the batter between your fingers and you can't feel any sugar grains anymore. At that point, it's done, and you can add in the ricotta and mascarpone. Now, I've done half and half mascarpone and ricotta because I find the ricotta lightens up the mixture a bit. It gives it a slight savory note, which is really nice, just to make the pudding a bit lighter and not too sweet. It's also a lovely rich protein source, so that's a little extra bonus. And that's it for that part of the filling. So you can see I've whisked it, it's got a lovely smooth consistency. Now for the egg whites, obviously a lot easier if you've got an electric whisker. You want to whisk them to stiff peaks, adding in a bit of salt at the start, and then when they get kind of halfway there, you start slowly sprinkling in the sugar, so you get a nice glossy egg white, and you can tip it over your head and it shouldn't fall on top of your head. The classic test. So then to fold that in, you're going to start by just adding like a tablespoon worth into your yolk mixture and whisking that in. That'll loosen up the mixture ready for folding. Then you're going to go and fold in 1/2 of your egg whites first and then the other half. And the technique is to start from the middle, lift it up and put it on top of itself. So you go under and over by 1/4 of the bowl each time until it's all fully combined. And that's it. Now we're ready for the layering. So we're going to start off with a layer of ladyfingers, and I'm using some sparkling white wine. I've got some dry Cava because that goes really well with raspberries, and so you can use Earl Grey tea if you'd rather keep this non-alcoholic, but basically the idea is to soak all the biscuits, keep them not too soggy. So just going in, rolling them into the Cava 3 times, and that's it, one by one. Layer of ladyfingers, layer of compote, layer of tiramisu filling. And then we start the process all over again and just layer them up, add a bit more wine if needed, and you can break up the ladyfingers just to make sure you get a nice even layer, and then top it off again with compote and cream, and then finish it off with some whole raspberries, which will add again a bit more tartness at the end. If you've got some spare mixture, put it in some individual bowls or glasses to serve separately, and then leave the tiramisu in the fridge for at least 2 hours or overnight, and then it's ready to enjoy. You can serve it with a glass of sparkling wine or a coffee or an Earl Grey tea, and it's the perfect summer dessert.